Amer, I know you've had a chance to screen this film in different screenings in the West Bank. Can you tell me what those screenings have been like?
And you start to notice that they start to see things differently, that maybe we have better salaries, maybe we have better jobs, maybe we travel more, but we are missing an important thing, which is dignity. And they start to come to the characters in the film, and they start to ask them more questions in depth about the First Intifada. How can they use this experience sometime sooner in making their life better and
Michael, can you talk about what stood out about this film to you? You're a man with a busy schedule, and you graciously come out tonight to support the film. You'd shown the film at the Traverse City Film Festival. Of all the films that you see in the year, why this one?
Well, actually, for almost a year now, I've been trying to get as many people as possible to see this movie. I think it's, there's been a spate of incredible Palestinian films being made in the last few years, especially documentaries. And I think that this one really stood out to me because I'm a big advocate of documentary filmmakers using humor. It's really important to me that films like this get distribution, Tom, and that people like you are such an advocate for films like this. And so it's great you have this series, and I'm just happy to be here and honored to be part of it and to be supportive of these guys as much as I can.
So, Amer, you had a co-director, Paul Cowan, who lives in Canada. But how did the two of you work together?
so basically, at some point we had a Skype meeting. My producer, Aina, she's Canadian, she suggested to work with Paul. So we Skyped. And he's coming from a classical documentary background. I come from a comics and art background. I wanted things to be more funny and fantasy. He wanted a clear story, accessible, where people understand what's happening. But I think we managed to bring the script and the film in a middle ground where it's understood for the Western audience at the same time. It's not boring for a Palestinian. It's funny, but still you can understand the story. We kept this arguing about political issues in the film. At the end, I said, okay, let's take one day break, and I'll book you a tour to Hebron to like have a nice day. And he went to Hebron. He came back totally different guy. Like he said, I get it now. So it only took one day off in Hebron to visit and see settlements on the ground. And
that happened to me in 1985. I spent more than one day, but that first day in the West Bank and then to Gaza. And I had never, I thought I knew, but I didn't know. And you really, once you experience it, I think most good people with a conscience, if they experienced it, people who know right from wrong, would be severely affected in a good way. I mean, but that was a very good idea. You just let them loose. You mean you just okay.
So, Amer, can you put into context your development as a filmmaker? I mean, there's a small number of films that come out of Palestine. What is it like for you to build your career there?
actually, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not sure if I want to make another film after this. It's a lot of work. I don't know how filmmakers do that.
Announce your retirement right now. That would be so cool. Don't retire. Don't.
Yeah, I'm an artist. I do art in general, but I love the story. I felt that it can be done in another form other than a film, but I didn't think that it would take 5 years of work. I thought that it's going to be maximum six months, maybe a year, but I got stuck in this for 5 years. So I don't know if I want to build a career, I want to pick another story that worth investing another 5 years in making a film.
Oh, dude, I'll do something with you. It'll take 5 months. Seriously, I promise you. Don't give up yet. Seriously. No.
When we started working on the film, we kept applying for a permit to get access to the military archives to see the photos they took of the cows, the report they made, but this application kept rejected. So basically, 4 years later, an Israeli researcher was working with us, suggested to apply as a Canadian film, not as a Palestinian film. So we submitted an application from the National Film Board in Canada that there is a Canadian film, and we sent a Canadian crew directly to Tel Aviv, and they did the interview. Obviously, I couldn't go there, so I was not in the interview, but we had a long list of questions they asked, and we sent only the Canadian crew to do the interview. It's an hour and a half long interview. We took only the parts related to our story. But when we told the town that we are going to interview Shaltael, they started to come and throw their own questions to ask about why did you do that? Why did you decide to do that back in the Intifada? And we throw those questions in the list to check with him. So we even asked him about Anton. Do you remember Anton Shomali? And he said, no, it rings a bell, but no, I can't remember him. So many people wanted to ask him questions, and we asked the Canadian crew to do that. Yeah, basically, we kept doing animation till we ran out of budget. I wanted as much animation as possible in the film, but that's what we rented the equipment. So basically, we were still animating, and the renting company came and said, "Take the equipment." So this is the maximum we could get. We had another maybe 10 written scenes in animation, which we couldn't have on screen. We couldn't even animate.
Was there ever a hope at one time that the whole film would be animated, like it would be like an animated documentary, or?
We tried at the first few pitches. We kept saying that this is a full-length animated documentary, but all the TV stations we approached and the commission editors, they kept saying that no, this can't be a fully animated film. No one will believe that this is true story. They will deal with it as an animal farm take on Palestine, and we need to see the real people in the film. And basically, we didn't get enough budget to do it all animated, so yeah.
The humans were cheaper.
Way cheaper. For the Palestinian audience, I hope that the new generation will realize that there was much more in the Intifada than only throwing stones. That there is the Intifada tried to replace occupation with alternative structures, so replacing the Israeli control on food with a self-independent system producing their own food. I wanted the Palestinian new generation to realize that what was the Intifada all about. For the Western audience, I think it's more about to see another face of Palestinians, more to see us like human beings where we deserve, I will not say life, but at least to have cows. First step,
We have to start wrapping this up, but Michael, I want to ask you, because you are such an advocate for documentaries with humor, and this film it has such a playful use of the form. I wonder if I could draw out some more of your reflections on what you think of the playful use of the form in this film.
Well, I that's one of the things I liked about it. In a way, maybe I'm kind of glad that you ran out of money for the animation, because it really is a beautiful blend of animation, of actual documentary style interviews, and then the reenactments, and I think a lot of people are afraid to use humor because they think it diminishes the seriousness of the issue. But I also think, especially for an American audience, to understand that not only that, first of all, the Palestinians have a sense of humor, and a wicked sense of humor, actually, and we don't get exposed to that. So if it did just that, I think was a valuable thing for this audience and other audiences around the country. But I really I'm disappointed to hear you say that you may not do this again, because I think you've hit on something here. Nobody's made this kind of documentary. I've not seen this film. I've not seen this film. I've not seen the subject matter. I've not seen the story, and I've not seen the method that you used. And I think it was really smart. they were telling me backstage here that this is the Palestinian submission for the Oscars for their film, like not for
Foreign
documentary,
language there.
for foreign language, yeah. And yeah, it's great. But I also said, you could also submit for a documentary because,
Which it has been.
Oh, it has been.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, so
It's been both
okay,
tracks.
great. Okay, good. Because I would love to see you up on that stage. And I just think that, but I think it's good for us, for documentary filmmakers, to explore other ways to tell stories than just the same old way of doing it. And I think that to be challenged by you and your fellow filmmakers is a good thing. It's a good thing for the art form. And so I'm speaking now as an artist that what you did for documentary is good, and I hope it inspires another documentary filmmaker, a young documentary filmmaker, to think, oh yeah, there is another way, or maybe a way we're not even thinking of that they will think of. So I like that, and I hope that you are recognized for it and honored for it. So